It's Saturday, you've got a coffee in your hand, and for about 10 seconds your garden looks perfect. Then you actually look down. Dandelions across the grass, weed seedlings creeping through your patio joints, the exact same weeds you dealt with last month, maybe last year. Here's the part nobody tells you. If you're spraying the same weed killer on your lawn and your patio, you are actively making one of those problems worse. Not just wasting your time, worse. So here's what we're doing today. 3 parts. First, why your lawn weeds keep coming back and the 2-step fix that actually ends it. Second, why patio and paving weeds need a completely different approach. And I'll give you 3 ways to do it, starting with something that costs you nothing. And third, the one afternoon job that means you never do this again. Let's get into it. Part 1, lawn weeds, the dandelion mistake. Start with the dandelion because it's the one everyone gets wrong. You grab it, you pull, it comes out, satisfying, done, except it isn't done. That dandelion has a taproot that can run nearly a foot down into the soil. When you pull the leaf and stem, you've taken maybe the top 2 inches. The rest is still down there, storing energy, and within a week or 2, it pushes up a fresh plant right through the same spot. You haven't removed anything, you've just given it a haircut. What actually works? So what actually gets the whole thing out? For single weeds, dandelions, plantain, thistle, anything with one deep central root, use a long-handled root puller. You drive it in alongside the root, lever the handle back, and the whole taproot lifts out clean. Takes maybe 5 seconds per weed. But if your lawn's problem isn't a few dandelions, if it's clover spreading in patches or buttercup taking over a whole corner, a hand tool won't keep up. That's a job for a selective lawn weed killer. And I want to be specific about that word selective, because this is where people mess up the patio later. More on that in a minute. A selective product is built to kill broadleaf plants, clover, daisies, dandelion, plantain, without touching the grass around it. Most of these work as synthetic growth hormones. Broadleaf weeds absorb them and are triggered to grow themselves to death, while grass simply isn't structured to respond to them the same way. That's the whole trick. Same spray, completely different reaction. Apply it on a still, dry day, nothing in the forecast for a day or 2, and keep pets and kids off until it's dried in. Give it 2 to 3 weeks. The weeds will go yellow, then brown, then die back, and the grass fills in on its own. Stopping the next wave. Now, how do you stop the next wave before it starts? Raise your mower deck. Most people scalp their lawn thinking it looks tidier. Do the opposite. Keep grass at around 3 to 4 inches, and it grows dense enough to shade the soil surface underneath it. Weed seeds need sunlight to germinate. Block the light, and they just don't. Your lawn becomes the barrier. No extra product, no extra work, just a higher mower setting. Part 2, patio and paving. Why this is a different problem. Now here's the pivot, and this matters. What's growing in your patio joints is not the same fight as your lawn, and it cannot be treated the same way. The single most common mistake I see, someone grabs a glyphosate-based total weed killer, the strong stuff meant for hard surfaces, and sprays it right along the edge where the patio meets the lawn. It works great on the paving, but it drifts. Every time, even a light breeze is enough to carry it onto the grass. And a week later, there's a dead brown stripe along your patio edge that takes months to grow back. So on hard surfaces, we go a different route. 3 methods, easiest first. Method 1, boiling water. This is the one people skip because it feels too simple to work. It isn't. Boiling water ruptures plant cells on contact, root included. Pour it directly onto the weed, right down into the joint, carefully, since it's still boiling water, so keep it well away from bare skin, pets, and any nearby plants you actually want to keep. Within a day or two, it's collapsed in brown. Zero cost, zero chemical residue, and it works basically every time on young growth. Method 2, the vinegar mix. For anything a bit tougher, mix white vinegar, a couple tablespoons of table salt, and a small squeeze of dish soap. The vinegar strips the waxy coating off the leaf, the salt pulls moisture out of the plant, and the soap makes the whole thing cling to the surface instead of rolling off. Standard kitchen vinegar handles young growth fine. For anything more established, horticultural vinegar is far stronger and finishes the job in one pass. Spray it on a dry, sunny afternoon and keep it away from any nearby soil or grass. This mix changes the soil chemistry wherever it lands, which is exactly why it's brilliant on stone and disastrous on lawn. Method 3, manual or flame. For anything rooted deep in the joint, a wire brush or a patio knife dragged along the gap will physically clear root and debris in one pass. And if you have a big area, a full patio, a long path, a flame weeder is genuinely worth the cost. One pass, the heat collapses the plant instantly. No chemicals, no runoff, no waiting. Just keep it away from wooden decking or dry mulch, anything that could catch. Part 3, make it permanent. Here's the part that actually stops you doing this every single spring. Once your patio's clear, seal the joints. Those gaps between your slabs are where every seed lands and takes hold in the first place. And they are basically flower beds you didn't ask for. Fill them with kiln-dried sand, or better, polymeric sand. Both are available at any builder's merchant. Brush it firmly into every joint until it is packed tight. Polymeric sand goes one step further. Once you water it in, it actually sets hard, which means there is no loose material left for a seed to root into at all. If your patio meets the lawn directly with no clear boundary, this is also the moment to put down an edging strip between them. It stops grass runners creeping sideways into the joints, which is how a lot of patio weeds actually start in the first place. It's one warm afternoon of work, and it buys you a full season, sometimes more, of not doing any of this again. Outro. Now, once those weeds are actually gone, you'll probably notice something else. Big taproots leave a bare patch behind when they come out. Thick clover patches leave dead brown ground once they die back. If your lawn's got bare spots right now, whether it's from weeds, from the dog, from last summer's heat, tell me in the comments, because getting grass to fill those back in fast is exactly what the next video's about. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you there.